So today, I want to talk about a camera. I always want to talk about a camera with it. Today we're talking about one of my first cameras. So this camera is the Canon Elan 7. And what's really awesome about it is that it's a film camera. So recently I've gone down a rabbit hole of watching videos about film photography on YouTube. And it made me think that I should go and check in on my old film cameras. And there was a roll of film in it. So I proceeded to go out on a shoot, took a bunch of photos. I had such a great time that I decided that I want to start doing film photography again. So shooting with this camera brought back the nostalgia of what it was like to shoot on film. So if you've never shot film and you're a photographer, I highly recommend shooting on film. If you're looking to get better as a filmmaker, cinematographer, photographer, shooting on film is a really great way to do that. Not only does it have a really great quality to it, but the limitations really push you to do a better job. And I love limitations for challenging you to get better at what you do. So with a roll of film, you only get 24 to 36, maybe more if you're loading the film roll yourself. But having the limitation of how many shots you can get and having the cost so high, it makes it really precious, right? It means that you don't just want to go take pictures and see what happens. You kind of want to make sure you're in the right place at the right time, at the right conditions, and getting everything together to do it well. Not only do I think shooting film is a good thing to do, but this kind of camera is a really great camera, especially if you're already shooting on Canon. Now, one thing that I didn't have when I was younger and when I started photography is I didn't have good lenses. But now after doing videography for years on Canon systems, I've spent the time and money acquiring some nice Canon EF L series lenses. And what's really great is that this camera also takes EF lenses. So, let's take this 16 to 35 2.8, and now I've got a really high quality lens that allows me to shoot film. But this is essentially like a 5D, but that shoots 35mm film. So let's talk a bit about this camera. So it's a 35mm camera, which means it takes 35mm film. It's got all the automatic features that you would want. Self-lines has really great autofocus. Max shutter speed is 1/4000th. You can keep it open for 30 seconds, or there's a bulb mode. There's a spot you can add a trigger. It's got this nice wheel at the back. That you can use for your aperture settings, and then shutter settings. Obviously, ISO comes down to the film speed that you're using. You've got the option of single shot, multi-shots, which does about 4 frames per second, which feels pretty good. And it does that with full autofocus. And you can do a lot of things, like you can do multiple exposures, which is something that I used to do a lot back in the day. You can do bulb mode. It's got this built-in flash, which isn't amazing, to be honest. I mean, it's standard built-in flash. I never use it. This camera took some sort of lithium-ion battery that was proprietary, but this battery grip allows me to run the whole thing off of 4 AA batteries, which I use rechargeables anyways, so 4 AA batteries will last me about 4 to 6 months if I'm shooting a lot with this. So, film, it's just great. And it's just like a beautiful quality image, and you get all that texture from the grain. Oh man, I love film. I'm gonna shoot more film. I'm not sure what else to say. It's a film camera. This camera is still pristine, still takes beautiful photos. And I'm excited to get shooting with it. I actually haven't shot with this thing in about 10 years. Given by the photos that I found on this camera, the last thing I shot was about 8 years ago. So I put a roll of film into this camera. It's Fujifilm Superia 200, I believe. And I'm gonna go shooting over the next week. So once it's developed, I'll do another video on film and the process of developing and what that means. But for now, I just wanted to talk a bit about the camera. So if this video was helpful, hit that like button. If you have any memories about shooting on film, and if you're thinking about getting back into it, or you have still been shooting on film, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear more about it. We can chat down there. And if you want to see more videos about film photography, videography, or just random things, you can hit that subscribe button because that's always fun. All right, see you later. Whew, it has gotten really dark in here. It is, see how dark this is? I have my windows open. I have a light on. I'm at ISO 1600 and it is 1 p.m. That's how dark it gets in Vancouver when the clouds come. Good old Vancouver. I gotta get out of this house more. And why film's awesome. Film's so awesome. God. Anyways, I'm really excited to shoot this film.